In February 2024, Ella Stapleton, a senior at Northeastern University, demanded her $8,000 tuition back after discovering her instructor, Professor Rick Arwood, had used Chat GPT not just to grade her essay, but to create the course materials too. But what really got to her nerves was the fact that the same professor had banned students from using AI. She simply couldn't allow the double standard slide. But to her shock, the university did not just ignore it. They defended it and doubled down on hypocrisy. And now we have to ask, what is the dark side of Chat GPT? A study in today's review, 2 out of every 10 college instructors were already using generative AI by 2023. And by 2024, that number had doubled. Professors are increasingly using Chat GPT and justifying it however they can. Why is it so simple? It's convenient, efficient, and logical. Now, college instructors can develop course materials, write lectures, and even grade essays in seconds. And on the face value, everything seems fantastic until it doesn't. Because this convenience comes at a huge opportunity cost. The more professors rely on AI, the less they think for themselves. And if they stop thinking, how will they teach others what and how to think? Chat GPT is incentivizing the people meant to teach critical thinking and academic integrity to outsource their own. To get a clearer picture of the depth of the erosion of academic integrity, let's travel back in time. In December 2022, the University of Kent became ground zero for a new kind of scandal. 47 essays landed in professors' inboxes, flawless, polished, suspiciously perfect, too perfect. The essays had a weird stench that eventually led to being screened, and 22 of them came out as Chat GPT generated. And the students received 0 marks with no exception, no room for appeals. However, things were about to get darker. The students learned not to stop cheating, but to cheat better. All that is now needed is to humanize AI-generated text, rewrite texts, and find tools to bypass detection. And a study conducted by Turnitin in 2013 highlights this fact. Out of the students identifying as AI users, 26% of them reported a high likelihood of using AI despite restrictions. The study further revealed that the percentage of students who do not consider using AI at all circumstances fell from 11% in the spring of 2023 to 7% in the fall of the same year. It is getting worse. And beneath the surface, something far more troubling is unfolding. To begin with, the number of AI tools meant to humanize content is flooding the market. And basically, the invisible hand of the market supplies what people are demanding. So the danger is no longer about getting caught using Chat GPT, but what kind of a graduate is the system producing after missing hundreds of opportunities to attain knowledge, sharpen skills, and enhance mastery. Chat GPT and education. When OpenAI launched, its mission was to ensure that all of humanity benefited from artificial intelligence. However, within the education sector, people had all begun smelling the coffee. A mere week after Chat GPT appeared in November 2022, The Atlantic declared that the college essay is dead. Others argued that it caused a panic at all levels of education because it made cheating incredibly easy. And this might be construed to mean that ChatGPT introduced cheating into the classroom and lecture halls. However, nothing can be farther from the truth. Cheating at universities is nothing new. It's a long-running issue, and deep down, it has to do with the incentives of education. You see, higher education has never really been about learning. It's been about credentials, degrees, grades, GPAs, and beneath all of that, a desperate hope for economic stability. Largely, education ceased being about chasing learning and skills. Under the carpet, it evolved to becoming a great way of chasing a paycheck. And when you build a system that rewards the appearance of knowledge over the pursuit of it, you invite shortcuts. plagiarism, test banks, ghost workers, and now AI. And though it might seem like progress, it is really the beginning of collapse. Because whether we like it or not, nearly half of students and teachers at the K through 12 level admit using AI, and nearly every college student uses AI in some capacity. As a result, plagiarism, cheating, and fraud has flooded education in levels that had never been seen before. But the most worrying and uncomfortable truth is that this is not about ethics, it's about incentives. We all know it, but someone has to bite the bullet and say it out loud. Majority of students aren't in school for knowledge. They are chasing something else: scholarships, job offers, visas, and the stakes are high. So studying ethically is not very attractive today to many. And let's be honest, professors, administrators, even publishers have been complicit in this game. Together, the society has come to this place where we glorify the output and ignore the process. We celebrate first-class honors without ever pausing to ask questions to validate the process. Did the student actually attend classes? Who wrote the exams? Who graded them? And how? It's all about status. And that is why the problem we are having is not about a few lazy students or dishonest professors or the rise of Chat GPT. It's a structural flaw. Cheating is just a symptom. The disease is deeper, and we need to be thankful to Chat GPT for doing such a wonderful and great job at highlighting the problem at different levels. The question we need to be asking is this: why do employers require a college degree? Think about it. It is not rare to find a guy with a degree in sociology or psychology working in a bank. So if the skills required in the course of getting a college degree aren't needed in the workplace, then why do employers really require one? It's simple. It signals some facts about the job seeker. The employer is not interested with the content of the job seeker's education. Rather, on the fact that this guy was able to survive for 4 years or more at an institution that has kind of arcane and arbitrary rules. So today's degree doesn't prove that the guy learned. On the contrary, and disturbingly so, it proves the person survived the system, that he or she followed rules, or at least learned how to break them so well and get rewarded for doing it. And that's all that matters. Let's be honest. All these corporations out here are chasing the bottom line, and they are hiring people that can better their profit margins. The rest is basically PR. So the problem we are now having with ChatGPT is that the degree is no longer an indicator of a guy with an ability to adhere to rules. Rather, a college degree is quickly becoming a signal to a guy who knows how to break the rules, cover his tracks, and still get to receive all the praise. It's now a testament as this job seeker can use unethical means to get desired results because he or she has very little regard for the process. The end now justifies the means. And now, the consequences of employing such a person can only be unimaginable. The shortcut to death. At first, it felt like a shortcut, then a necessity, and now it's becoming the new normal in academia, quietly, invisibly reshaping the classroom from the inside out. But here is the problem. The line between using AI to help and using AI to replace yourself has blurred very fast. And now we are facing a strange paradox. On the one side, students are using AI to avoid learning. On the other, professors are using AI to avoid teaching. And education itself is quietly becoming simulation. The death of skill development. Now, a deeper question echoes louder than ever. If everyone's faking it, who is really learning? The machines are doing the work. The humans, they are becoming obsolete in their own classrooms. School is supposed to build core skills, communication, critical thinking, problem solving, and so forth. But if Chat GPT handles every assignment, what is left? Academic literacy is hanging by a thread, and educators across the United States are sounding the alarm. Troy Jolimo, for example, who is an ethics professor at Cal State Chico, doesn't mince words. Says massive numbers of students are going to emerge from university with degrees and into the workforce who are essentially illiterate. The future is compromised. We are looking forward to a generation armed with credentials but stripped of core skills thanks to an over-reliance on AI. In early 2025, a major consulting firm surveyed its newest hires, and 70% of recent graduates couldn't write a basic proposal on their own. No structure, no tone, no logic. The report said. Diplomas used to signal ability. Now, they are just expensive receipts, safeguarding the hollow diploma. Let's be honest. If anyone can earn a degree using Chat GPT to do the work, what's a degree even worth? We've entered the era of credential inflation. Degrees still cost tens of thousands, but they no longer guarantee integrity, effort, or skill. And here is the worst part about it. The system rewards it. Universities don't want failing students because failing students won't continue paying. And lower graduation rates will eventually hurt rankings and will have a negative effect on funding. So simply, enforcing cheating rules costs money. So some schools quietly look the other way as long as the tuition keeps flowing. But that's a ticking time bomb because now hospitals are hiring nurses who cannot interpret case studies, engineering firms on board graduates who cannot write reports. Schools are hiring teachers who rely on the AI to explain ideas to children, and they don't even realize. And just when you think it can get worse, let's talk hallucinations. Chat GPT doesn't know all the facts. It predicts patterns from what is already fed with. And sometimes it just makes things up. Fake quotes are normal. Imaginary sources, fabricated studies. And in one viral story, a law student admitted a legal brief with 6 citations, all completely fictional, invented by Chat GPT, and the judge sanctioned both the student and the attorney. But this is not just a courtroom problem, it's an educational epidemic. Students turn in essays with fake citations. Professors quote hallucinated stats in lectures, and no one catches it because it all sounds real. So now, education is not battling ignorance, it's battling false knowledge. So who do we have to blame? At this point, it's easy to say Chat GPT destroyed education, but that's not true. We damaged education long before Chat GPT arrived. It only made things worse. We did. We built a system fixated on shortcuts and appearances. We taught students that grades are more important than understanding. We taught teachers that performance metrics matter more than mentorship. We trained everyone to prioritize speed and superficiality over depth. So when AI showed up and said, hey, I can make this faster, we didn't resist. We welcomed it with both hands. But faster doesn't mean better, and easier doesn't mean deeper. So what now? Do we ban AI? That's not realistic. It's already here. Do we ignore it? That's even worse. The answer is not to eliminate AI. It is to rebuild education around something real. We need to teach students how to use AI ethically as a tool, not as a cheat code. We need to create new types of assessments that demand original thought, not regurgitation. We need to rebuild trust between students and teachers, between humans and knowledge, because AI can do one of two things. One, it can replace thinking, and two, it can provoke deeper thinking. It depends on the how we decide to use it. It can become the end of education or the beginning of something better. But the future of learning is not up to Chat GPT, it's up to us.